Managers face dozens of complex problems every day. When overwhelmed, our brains rely on gut feelings, quick heuristics, or familiar rules of thumb. But for high-stakes choices, those shortcuts break down. This limitation is known as bounded rationality. Even when we try to be perfectly logical, human brains simply cannot process every variable, risk, and alternative simultaneously. We need a system to offload the cognitive weight. That system is an objective decision matrix. It is a mathematical framework that forces constraints on your thinking, providing a structure that helps neutralize the pull of impulse and grounds your choice in measurable criteria. All you need is a blank spreadsheet or a piece of paper. Let's look at a practical example. Tarek is a sales manager, and he needs to purchase a fleet of new laptops for his traveling reps. By building a structured workspace before looking at any specific products, Tarek guarantees that his final choice will be driven by verified math rather than an emotional reaction to a flashy sales pitch. Step 1 is identifying the actual problem. A problem is simply a discrepancy between your current state and your desired state. Right now, Tarek's reps have outdated gear. The desired state is a fully equipped team. Step 2 is identifying the decision criteria. Across the top row of your spreadsheet, list the specific factors required to close that gap. For a field sales team, Tarek lists memory, battery life, carrying weight, warranty, and display quality. This list displays our priority weights for Step 3. Not all criteria are equally important. You must assign a priority scale from 1 to 10 for each factor. Tarek scores memory at a 10 because the sales software demands it. Display quality is a luxury, so it gets a 3. Treating every feature equally will skew your final results. Locking in these numbers now acts as an anchor. It prevents subjective feature creep from hijacking the decision when you start evaluating the actual options. This table plots our alternatives for Step 4. Down the left side of your matrix, list all the viable options that could resolve the problem. Tarek identifies 8 potential laptops. Next, evaluate each alternative against your criteria. Assign a raw score from 1 to 10 in each cell based on how well that specific model performs in that category. This diagram illustrates the difference between maximizing and satisficing. At this stage, it is tempting to look at the first few rows, find a green option that looks good enough, and stop. But to find the absolute best option, you must complete the process. This formula box dictates Step 5, analyzing the alternatives. You multiply the weight you established in Step 3 by the raw score you assigned in Step 4. This completed grid demonstrates the formula in action. A raw score of 10 for memory, multiplied by a weight of 10, becomes 100. A score of 7 for display quality, multiplied by a weight of 3, becomes 21. Finally, add the numbers horizontally across each row. The alternative with the highest total is your mathematical winner. Here, the Lenovo IdeaPad edges out the competition with a 232. Completing this specific multiplication process removes ambiguity. It elevates a choice from a subjective guess to an objective, maximized decision. Step 6 is execution. You leave the spreadsheet and take physical action. Tarek submits the purchase order and issues the new laptops to his team. Crucially, this is the time to gain commitment from those affected. Show the team your decision matrix so they understand exactly how and why the choice was made. The final phase is Step 7, evaluating the decision's effectiveness. You must check if the chosen alternative actually solved the discrepancy you identified back in Step 1. If the sales reps are still struggling to close deals due to technical issues, the problem was not resolved. This means your criteria weights were flawed and must be adjusted for the next cycle. A rational decision loop is never truly complete until the real-world outcome validates the math on your spreadsheet. You started this process in a state of stressful ambiguity, staring down equally plausible options. Now you hold a mathematically verified winner. Forcing constraints on your thinking, strictly weighting your criteria, and multiplying the raw scores successfully overrides our dangerous cognitive biases. This framework is specifically designed for non-programmed decisions, those unique custom problems like hiring a director or authorizing a capital purchase, where routine rules do not apply. True managerial confidence does not come from a lucky intuition. It comes from relying on a rigorous framework built on clear, verifiable logic.